Now, you don't want to hear this. Just listen. Stop trying to get your mother to admit she was wrong. Stop trying to get her to see things from your perspective. When you do this, the little girl in you is trying to get validated. And she believes that her mother can validate her experience. And then if that happens, she, in essence, has like a permission to heal. And you don't need your mother's permission to heal. That's a part of the obedient Black girl syndrome, as I would say. It's like looking for our mother to say, this is true, this happened, this is who I am. And healing your mother wound is about you establishing who you are. And it's about you creating a healthy relationship with yourself and taking the attention off of the relationship you have with your mother. That is how you heal.
I cannot relate to what this woman was saying at all. I don't know if it was because I was a daddy's girl or because my dad was such a strong leader in my home, but my mom was like kind of like Susie Homemaker. So she was our biggest fan. I never found myself wanting to, like, she never gave us the impression that we needed to do that for her or to prove anything to her, or but she was very supportive of us. She was there with the shirts and cheering with the referees. So I don't understand what she's talking about. I'm just gonna be real honest. I can't relate to what she's talking about. Straight up.
Okay.
I don't even know what a mother wound is. And my mom's not here. I wish I could call and ask. I'm pretty sure my mom had mother wounds, describing my mom's life when she used to describe it to me. But I think because of her relationship with her mom, she made sure that that was not the dynamic in our house, if that makes sense. So no, I can't relate to that. Sorry. I wish I had more. Maybe if y'all talk some, I'll input.
Okay. Go ahead, Balance.
I'm not sure why you're so curious to have my opinion on this. I think it's comical a little bit. I don't know, but I will respond just because you're so curious to what I have to say about this. I think for the most part, if we're speaking about women of color, Cookie is the minority in this situation. I think most women of color do have wounds with their mothers, and they do seek their mother's validation, attention. They want that from their mothers. And a lot of times they don't even see that their mothers themselves are still seeking it from their mothers. Like it's a generational thing where women of color are constantly trying to please their parents, but especially their mothers, and they're trying to seek their validation, and it's like they never get it. And they never get it. So it's like a cycle of them trying to get something they never get, and it distracts you from putting all your energy and time into yourself and building yourself and your business and your life and your family, because all your attention is going to, will my mom approve of it? And I notice it sometimes in my own mother. Sometimes she'll call me and she's like, she'll still be stuck on her mom not letting her go to a certain school when she was young. And like, she's still mad about it to this day. She's like, yeah, because my life would have been totally different. And I'm like, well, you can still do all those things. You can still do them now. She's like, no, well, she should have let me go to the school. But it's like, sometimes you do need therapy. You need to heal. You got to work on yourself. You got to get over it. And you have to deal with the pushback of when you heal and you're not focused on your parents' validation anymore, that is going to be a little bit of a conflict, because when you really don't care what your parents think, not that you're disrespectful, but you're putting your needs and your desires first, it's going to be a little bit of a conflict. Like they want you to seek that validation as well, especially if they're not healed. So it is something that you have to work on. You got to heal from, and definitely stop asking permission to live your life. So if I wish more women did that, stop seeking that permission, like be yourself, be who you are. And you can still do that and love and respect your parents at the same time. So it's a balance. It's a balance. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Appreciate that, Balance. I was looking forward to it, so thank
I
you.
know you was for whatever reason. But
first of all, Cookie, I think it's great that you don't even have these issues. I think that is so wonderful.
Thank you.
Me on the other spectrum, I definitely struggle with this. And still am, honestly. But like Balance said, it's nothing wrong or embarrassing to feel like you have to go to therapy. I think growing up, like even as a younger adult, I've kind of gotten over it now. But as a younger adult, I was like just trying to do things in order to like please my mother. But that in turn, like, it's almost like I was living a double life. Like I'm doing stuff to please my mom, but it's not really pleasing to me. It's not really who I am. So, um, um, yeah. So I don't think that it is healthy or right. I feel like a lot of, like you said, in the Black community, a lot of mothers in the older generation, there was a lot of things that they struggled with as well. They have a lot of healing to do with themselves, but they are kind of like that generation where it's like, well, I am who I am and I don't need help. I don't need therapy. I am who I am and you're going to deal with it or not. And I think it's just coming to the place where you just have to understand who these certain individuals are and knowing how to navigate through them. Like, don't really take everything as a grain of salt. Don't take everything like it's just written in stone. Like, it's kind of hard, especially if you're not doing the work to heal. And if that's something that you struggle with growing up, it is easier said than done. But like the woman in the video said, it's really just all about you knowing or learning and knowing who you are, so that things that, I mean, because hurt people. So if your parents are still healing from their past trauma, um, sometimes misery does love company. So it's like you just got to understand where people are in their lives and just really focus on you. That's the only way that you can grow. And then maybe you can be a walking testimony to your parents, to help them heal, or you'll actually be able to show them who you actually are versus who they expect you to be or want you to be. So yeah, I think to answer the question, I think for some people the need to achieve is rooted in the mother wound, but I don't think it's the healthy route to take, because you'll just in turn always be a people pleaser at the end of the day, and you won't have a voice of your own. So yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Ty. Like you want to come off the mic.
Yeah. I wanted to speak on this because I feel like my experience is closer to Cookie's. I don't have that mother wound issue. I actually always felt like my mother was the example that I wanted to look up to. She never forced me to do anything, right? She just led by example. My mother had me when she was 21, so I did a lot of things with her. Like, I was in college with her. I saw her get her master's. I saw her do things on her own. So she never forced me to do anything or made me feel that I had to live in a box to appease her or to be the woman that I was supposed to be. She allowed me to grow and become the person I was. And as I grew, she always rooted for me. She always would tell me, that you're good at this. You should try this. If that's what you want to do, you should go after it. I know at one point, going to college, I had to make a decision on whether or not I wanted to go away or stay closer, for personal reasons that had to do with my family. And I decided to stay closer. And she was like, no, go, like, you don't have to stay here for me. But I made those decisions. So I took a totally different perspective from that video. Whereas I feel that a lot of us, we all have an inner child that needs to be healed from something. Right. It doesn't necessarily have to deal with your mother or your father. It has to be something that you need to be healed from. And we always are looking for validation from that thing to help us heal. And what I took from it is you don't need any validation from anything to go on a path to healing. It all comes down to you. As an adult, you can decide to start healing at any point of your life and go after the things that you want to go after and take that path that's going to help you become the best version of yourself. But I don't really agree with the mother wound thing. I never really had that issue. My mom is literally like my best friend. So